everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you might be dialing in from around the world. Thank you all for joining and spending time with us for today's webinar, Top 10 Trends in Healthcare 2022, Reign of the Digital Consumer, presented by IT Novarica Group. I'm Caitlin Labby, and I'll be your host for today's webinar. We'll be starting the webinar shortly, but first, let me just cover a few quick housekeeping items. We will be taking questions at the end of the webinar, so please feel free to submit your questions using the questions feature located in the GoToWebinar toolbar to the right of your screen. Also, today's webinar will be recorded, and a link to view the recording on demand will be available after the session. It is now my pleasure to introduce today's speakers. Inji Kaya is a strategic advisor on IT Novarica Group's healthcare payments practice and covers healthcare payments, health IT, evolving market trends, and vendor evaluations and their implications for industry stakeholders. Inji brings to IT Novarica Group 10 years of experience in advisory research, strategic market insights, and analysis working with financial services, IT service providers, and healthcare industry clients. Michael Trilly is the director of IT Novarica Group's healthcare payments practice. He specializes in commercial and consumer healthcare payment innovations spanning providers, payers, and the employer benefits industries. He brings to IT Novarica Group 15 years of experience in product management, strategic partnerships, market research, and business strategy in the financial services and payments industry. I'll turn the mic over now to Mike for further introductions and to dive into today's content. Thank you again for joining us, and we hope you enjoy today's webinar.
Thank you, Caitlin, and hello, everyone. Just to echo what Caitlin had said, thank you for spending part of your day with us. We see a lot of familiar faces and some new names as well. So what I wanted to do is just take a moment and talk a little bit about our practice to help set up what you're going to hear for the next 35 to 40 minutes. And IT, our healthcare payments practice by its name certainly suggests, and we do execute against a good variety of research in the payment space. But as you'll notice in some of the bullet points there in our name, Inji and I have really worked over the last, I'd say 10 years, 4 years since Inji's been with us, to really sort of expand the ecosystem of research, still creating our core competency on payments, but I think also expanding it to other areas that influence payments. And just to give everyone an example, what Inji and I, how we really think of our coverage is we keep the consumer at the center, whether that consumer is a health plan member, whether that consumer is an individual, well, I guess that's a health plan member, whether it's an employee, whether it's a patient. And then we covered the other two parties in the payment system, the healthcare provider, predominantly on the revenue cycle side, as well as the health plan. And over the years, we've really kind of dotted lined a fourth stakeholder, which is really the employer, as we've expanded coverage into the benefit space. So that's really how we look at the world. And since our merger is, and this may be new to some of you, we've merged with Novarica. And it's been about 8 months now. One of the things as Inji and I look at our roadmap for research, we've been really trying to understand and what the needs are of Heritage Novarica clients that are really on the technology side. So going back to the premise of we look at financial services and payments, what are some of the systems, the business trends, as well as the regulations that are impacting that. I think you'll see us move further into areas such as claims and those core systems that impact or have standalone solutions in those areas. So we're really excited about the future and the growth of the practice. We hope you see some of that today in some of the trends that sort of illuminate where we currently cover and where we're heading. So with that, I want to turn it over to Inji. And Inji, why don't you take us through a summary of trends and get us kicked off?